Well, comedian Stephen Colbert has taken full control of Capitol Hill today. It's been a three-ring media circus here in the city. Colbert is appearing before Congress as a witness on the issue of migrant farm workers. Now, that's a very serious issue, but committee members seemed a little surprised when Colbert launched into a series of jokes. Here's an example.
Again, it is an honor, a privilege, and a responsibility to be here. I trust that following my testimony, both sides will work together on this issue in the best interest of the American people, as you always do. I'm now prepared to take your questions and/or pose for pictures with your grandchildren. I yield the balance of my time. USA #1.
Stephen Colbert testifying this morning as an expert witness. Well, let's bring in Nancy Cordes. She's been on the Hill to watch this episode, if you can call it that. Nancy, what a show.
It was vastly more entertaining, Bob, than most of the hearings that we have to sit through here on Capitol Hill, and also vastly better attended. There was an overflow crowd, people getting here as early as 6:30 in the morning to try to pack into the hearing room. Ultimately, they weren't all able to, so they set up another room so people could watch, and the cameras were wall to wall. In fact, the chairwoman of the hearing joked at the start that there hadn't been this many cameras in a hearing since impeachment, which some Democrats obviously would love to forget.
Well, let me ask you what happened there. John Conyers, the Michigan congressman, he said, didn't he suggest that Colbert maybe just supply a statement for the record? What happened there? He
did initially. At the start of the hearing, he said, you know, this is serious business we're doing here. Now you've made your point. You're here. Maybe you should just submit your testimony and leave. And Stephen Colbert said, I'm here at the request of the chairwoman, Zoe Lofgren, whom he had spent a day with picking in the fields to shed some light on this issue. And so he stayed, and the chairwoman asked him to stay. Then just a few minutes later, Representative Conyers seemed to have a change of heart. He said, actually, I want to hear what you have to say, and so they did.
My favorite part was watching the cutaway pictures of the committee members as Colbert was testifying with this look of shock on their faces.
There were some racy comments made by the comedian, and some Republicans seemed a little bit put out. They called this a stunt. They said, you know, this is a serious issue. We shouldn't be doing this. But others seemed to play along, and they asked him some questions, and he responded. For the most part, he responded in character, which, as you know, is this kind of conservative, blowhard talk show host, the character that he plays on Comedy Central every night. But at the very end, he got more pointed and seemed to be speaking from the heart when he said that after you know, spending some time thinking about this issue and spending some time in the fields, it seems like these migrant workers do really have a tough lot. They don't have a lot of rights, if any, and that it seems like something should be done about it.
Let's take a look now at a little more of what Colbert had to say before Congress when a congressman asked him if he was truly qualified to testify today. Listen.
Now, the obvious answer is for all of us to stop eating fruits and vegetables. And if you look at the recent obesity statistics, you'll see that many Americans have already started. Unfortunately, my gastroenterologist, Dr. Eichler, has informed me in no uncertain terms that they are a necessary source of roughage. As evidence, I would like to submit a video of my colonoscopy into the congressional record. Now, we all know there is a long tradition.
Does one day working in the field make you an expert witness, do you think?
I believe one day of me studying anything makes me an expert in something.
Is that to say it's more work than you've ever done before, right?
Excuse me?
It's more work than you've ever done before in that
It's certainly
category.
harder work than this.
Is it harder work than the comedy show?
Excuse me?
Is it harder work than the comedy show?
It's absolutely harder than punditry.
Okay, and you don't want to return to it? Okay.
I will never, I don't even want to watch Green Acres anymore.
Well, like I said.
Stephen Colbert testifying today about migrant farm workers. Well, at the end of the day, I mean, was this a stunt, Nancy? Did it achieve what the committee wanted it to achieve?
Well, here's what the chairwoman said. She said, look, this is an issue that does not get a lot of attention if we go about this in normal means. We held a hearing 2 weeks ago, not a single camera showed up, and look at you all here today. And she also said, this is no different than any other celebrity coming out to support a cause. We've seen Angelina Jolie on the Hill. We've seen Bono on the Hill. Why is this any different? She said, just because Stephen Colbert is a celebrity who also happens to be a comedian. He can have a serious point of view from time to time.
Well, I have to say, I'm with you. I've seen a lot of really boring hearings. That one at least wasn't boring.
That's for sure.
All right. Nancy Cordes on the Hill, thanks very much.